Warning: the following episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind contains explicit language and adult content. The thoughts and opinions stated on the show are reflective of AJ Orsini and his guests exclusively. Seriously, guys, the show's called Uncensored. If you got a problem with bad language, I really don't give a shit.
Hey guys, now listen, I know that I've been negative Nancy all over the Facebook, and I have been killing this, and I've been killing that, but it's episode 135, and there's much to discuss. I mean, FTR is on the loose, we still have our empty arena matches, one program is doing it far better than the other program, and of course, we gotta talk Wrestlemania. I didn't get a chance to do a damn roundtable this year, but I have got much to discuss when it comes to the showcase of the Immortals. And you're probably saying to yourself, AJ, there's no possible way that you can sit there and be negative for a full hour about one particular show. And the answer to that question is I could, but I'm not. Because there was actually some stuff on the show that I did like. What could I have possibly picked from this that I liked? Well, let's fucking find out, shall we?
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Mind, and now your host, AJ Orsini.
How the hell is everybody out there? This is your boy, your main man, Jav Soul Brother from another mother. This is your host of Orsini's Uncensored Mind. This is AJ Orsini, and I know that I'm calling myself Orsini. But you're probably saying to yourself, nope, not this week, not the last 2 weeks, you've been negative Nancy. I know on the FB book that I've been doing some weird shit, okay? I've been coming out, I've been an old man yells at cloud. I get it. I understand it. I just don't give a fuck because I enjoy pro wrestling for what it is. I have made it my life for a long fucking time. And I will say what the fuck I want to say about anything that I want to fucking say it about. And if you do not subscribe, then unsubscribe. I'm one of the very few podcast people in the world that I will not kiss your ass for views and likes. I won't do it. I've been told this 1,000 times. For a guy who has a podcast, you sure are turning away a lot of people. I don't give a fuck if I'm turning people away. And just so we can start off here, this is not going to be an angry as fuck episode. I know you're hearing me curse a lot more than usual here in our usual open, but you know what? I'm not angry as fuck. I'm motivated as fuck, to be honest with you, because I have checked all the boxes, okay? I've never competed in a WWE ring. I have been inside of an Impact Wrestling ring. I've yet to be inside of an AEW ring. I have been inside of a Ring of Honor ring. I've done some things. Evolve. I've done some things. I've bled in that ring. I have sweat in that ring. I have left body parts literally in that fucking ring. I have paid quite a few dues over the course of my life. So, I feel that blood, that sweat, those tears, those body parts have given me a ticket to at least be able to vocalize an opinion. I am not telling you what is fact. I am not telling you what is fiction. I am telling you an opinion. That's the whole point of this goddamn show, is so that I can use a platform to put out my opinion on certain fucking things. If you do not like the opinion, if you do not agree with the opinion, you are free to do so. I'm not telling you anything that you need to subscribe to. If you disagree, if you don't like the way I'm saying things or don't like what I'm saying, you do not need to listen. You can unsubscribe, you can unfriend, you can block. I don't give a fuck. I got a few people who used to call me friend who are now blocking me because of the things that I'm saying. I don't give a fuck. Blocks are not going to stop me from saying what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying to you? My wife can't get me to stop saying the things that I say. And she fucks me. So if you're not handing out pussy or not getting me pussy, you're probably not going to get me to stop saying the things that I'm fucking saying. So you should stop that. Because that's the only frustrating part about this whole transaction. I love when people try to convince me I'm wrong. I'm not fucking wrong. I'm telling you what the fuck it is. And I'm telling you how I fucking feel about it. You can feel different. That's fine. I'm moving a chair if you're hearing some scratching in the background because I want to put my foot up. That's fine. That's absolutely fucking fine. You don't have to agree with everything I fucking say. I don't like being surrounded by people who are going to agree with me for everything I fucking say. That's why I have friends who are literally in my life who have been on this show and have not been on this show in a while. Because I have this feeling in my gut and through conversation that people come on my show and they're friends with me and they're cool with me, so they don't want to disagree with me. Disagree with me if you feel like you disagree. I don't give a fuck. You can do that. It's fine. Just know that when you disagree with me, you disagreeing with me is not going to change my fucking view on it. That's the other part of this whole fucking process that gets lost on people. I disagree. Okay, why do you disagree? This is why I disagree. Okay, well, there you go. I guess you do disagree. Okay, but now that you've heard what I've had to say, you feel different, don't you? No. Not even fucking remotely close. Okay? And the two things that I'm sure you're going to listen to here tonight, and you're going to listen to this, and you're going to go, this guy's a fucking idiot. I may lose fans here tonight. And those two things is the fucking Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse match. Which, by the way, let's remove the name match from both of those fucking things. They weren't matches. They were video segments. At best, video segments. Okay? And if you grade it based on video segments, they're actually not bad. If you're going to try to grade it as a match, they were shit and they were horrible and they should never be done again. But again, I digress. We'll get into all that. There's other news that we need to hit up before we get into this, okay? And I know I'm coming at you a million miles a minute right now. I did not want to do this episode. I do not feel well, and I don't mean physically. I'm physically fine, but I've got some sick relatives. We're still in the quarantine thing going on. I wasn't in the mood to fucking do this. It's Saturday right now, so there goes that. It's fucking Saturday as we speak, so you could tell I waited to the last goddamn minute to do this. I was supposed to have a guest join me for this conversation. He was going to join me on Thursday. I canceled that, to be honest with you. I'm the one that canceled because I just didn't feel up to the do-si-do of, are you on? Are you not on? Or can you hear me? I just wanted to put a microphone on and do my thing and then spend the rest of my week catching up on shit that I have to do. I'm not in the mode for this, but I'm not going to come into this grumpy grandpa. If I'm going to be negative when I'm negative, I'm going to be positive when I'm positive. I'm going to do my fucking thing. That's it. And I'm not going to be influenced by anyone else because, to be honest with you, no one else can influence me. I think that's the part that really pisses people off. They feel like they should be influencing me. They cannot. You cannot. If you're listening to this, well, if you're within the sound of my voice, you cannot. If you say something, okay, that I can agree with, that I can roll with, I may decide to change my point of view. Okay, I may listen to what you have to say, compare it to what I've been thinking or what I've been doing, and I may alter what's going on. Is that you influencing me? Maybe. Maybe that's up for debate. But for you to believe in your heart that your words alone, just your words, not me combining them with something else, not me thinking things through, not me making a decision, that you have the ability to just speak to me, and that is enough, based on just your words, for me to just change my mind. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. If anyone can convince me of anything, it's going to take time for me to be convinced. Period. You can call me stubborn, you can call me whatever you want to call me. Again, not giving a fuck. I've lived my entire life not giving a fuck. I'm not going to stop now. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about how people feel about me. I don't give a fuck about how people think about me. I don't. If you're with me, you're with me. If you're not, I don't care. I don't need you. I don't need anyone. Anyone who is around me right now is around me because I want them there. I don't need anybody with the exception of maybe my son and my wife. I do need them in my life. I feel better when they're around. But even when they stress me out, you got to go somewhere else. The other room, to the store, some shit. Get away from me. Okay? I don't need anyone. I don't need any of you. I don't need any of nothing. And this isn't some sort of heel turn or whatever. It's just me being honest. If you're listening to this, I would suggest you think about adopting this method as well. Because there are some things that you're supposed to care a lot about, and that you should be focusing on and that you should be doing to better yourself. And then there's a lot of things in life you just shouldn't give a shit about. How people think about the way you dress, you just shouldn't give a shit about. You haven't been to the barber in a while. I don't give a fuck. I don't understand these. I can't grasp the idea of these people. That's a big thing. People feeling self-conscious. People, what are people going to say when they say me? I don't give a fuck. I'll walk outside of my drawers right now. What are you going to do about it? Not a fucking thing. You're going to make faces. You're going to point. You may laugh. You may be shocked. Your jaw might drop when you see the bulge. It depends. Okay? I'm in an Asian neighborhood, so I'm pretty sure they haven't seen wontons like this before, okay? And that's me as a person. I don't give a fuck. And you're not going to convince me to give a fuck unless I decide that your argument was convincing enough for me to start analyzing shit. Your words alone will never convince me of anything. Okay? This idea that I've told how many stories? Well, this is episode 135. How many fucking stories have I told on this show about how much this business means to me? How important this business is to me? This is my fucking life. It is my blood. It is what's in me. There is nothing else that is in my life that means more to me than this. Again, with the exception of wife and son. There is nothing else. Mother, brother, and sisters are like teetering. They're like right there. They're neck and neck. They're all sharing a silver medal. Okay? Pro wrestling is right fucking there. I have what is known as an absolute obsession. There is nothing else in my mind. I wake up thinking of wrestling. I spend my day thinking of wrestling. I go to sleep thinking of wrestling. I love when people post on social media, I'm going to do something else today. Pro wrestling isn't everything. Not to me. To me, pro wrestling is everything. It is the air that I breathe. It is everything. I rest my head on a pillow of pro wrestling and lay in my bed at night in a bed of pro wrestling. When I have had nothing in my life, no family, no friends, I have had pro wrestling, period. So when I go online and I tell you how much this means to me, you thinking that it's pathetic or you thinking that it's all encompassing with you, you're so obsessed with this. Yes, now you're getting it. I am obsessed with this. There is nothing else in this world besides pro wrestling to me. Everything else in this world and in this life means far, a country mile less than pro wrestling. It is an obsession. It is a way of life. There's nothing else. So, on that note, when I say things on this show, opinions or otherwise, know that it's coming from a strong place. Okay? I try not to dabble in rumor. So, you're not going to see me, first of all, you're not going to see me do or say anything from dirt sheets, ringside news, we got it covered or whatever the fuck, all these different little splash sites, which are basically just fans who put things that they think will happen or hope will happen. They just guess, they put things on, they take little tidbits that wrestlers give them and they connect dots, and that's how they share their shit. They put little clickbait titles on them to get you to bite on it. And it only takes one moron to not read the article and just go by the headline and share, and it's got 30 shares and whatever. So most of the stuff, if you go to the Orsini's Uncensored Mind Facebook group, which you all should join, you'll notice that I share, I'll either get screenshots or exact links to news articles. And I don't do a lot of news because, again, I'm not a fucking wrestling journalist. I am not a news reporter. I am not Mike Johnson of PWI, who is one of the most respected men. I respect him so much. He's a journalist. He makes the phone calls. He meets the people. He shakes the hands. He breaks news. He's the real deal. Okay? I am not that person, nor am I trying to be that person. I am here to initiate conversation and discussion on pro wrestling and other things. We talk Marvel Comics. We talk a lot of stuff on this show. All right, so I'm here for discussion. I'm here for debate. I'm here for opinion. Not just mine, but yours. If you're listening to the show, you know I'm very fan-friendly. I take calls every now and again when I'm live. Emails are always welcome. I will answer any question. And I have answered questions on this show before. I don't get many emails, but I do get a lot of comments, and I do get a lot of shares, and I do get a lot of messages. And whenever I get those questions, I answer them, period, in the best way that I possibly can. Because again, the show is about give and take. It's about conversation and debate. It's about going back and forth. So when someone comes to me with an opinion so goddamn strong that they just can't leave room for mine, then that's not a discussion. You're trying to bully me, which is laughable. I am a grown fucking man, and if you really think a few comments on Facebook is going to move me to disagree with my own self, that is the ultimate form of stupidity. It's dumb. It's just not going to happen that way. Okay? So let's just get that out of the way right there. I didn't want to open up with that, but it's all flowing out now. I've been thinking about it for 2 weeks, so there goes that. So on to the actual fucking stuff that's been going on this goddamn week. I want to make sure I make some clarifications. Okay? Clarifications. I clarified some shit the last time, not last week, which was the TJ Marconi interview, which I'll get to in a second. But the week before that, I made some clarifications about the idea around empty arena matches that I don't think people heard me. So I will say it again. I am not at any point in time disrespecting the efforts of the men and women who are performing during this circumstance. This is not easy for anyone, and they're trying to make it work, and I get it. My words were different. My words were not for Raw. My words were not for SmackDown. My words were not for literally any other show except WrestleMania. WrestleMania, to me, should not have been done inside of a fucking empty building. Period. End of discussion. That is what I said before I saw it. And now that I sit here as someone who has seen it, I feel even stronger. Okay? There are some things on this show that I liked. Some things that I'm on this show that I extremely liked. But all of that is a very small percentage. A good chunk of this show I did not like. And I did not like for multiple reasons, and I'm going to go through each and every one of them. So if you don't want to hear all of the quote-unquote bullshit negativity, feel free to stop listening within the next 10 minutes because I'm not getting to WrestleMania just yet. About 10 more minutes, and then you can cut it the fuck off if you want. But if you want, rail in an honest opinion about WrestleMania. Not someone who's waving the pom-poms from either side. I'm not a WWE mark. I'm not an indie or an AEW mark. I am a professional wrestling aficionado. I very rarely pat myself on the back or beat my own chest, but fuck it. This is my show, and I'm going to fucking do it. I know pro fucking wrestling. And I have been validated on multiple occasions by some of the best minds of the wrestling business. I have sat at the table of some of the greatest minds in wrestling history. WWE Hall of Famers, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, you name it. I have been at the fucking table, pen and paper. And I have done this shit for real. And I've gotten paid to do this shit for real. I've done commentary on live fucking pay-per-view, iPay-per-view, distributed digital downloads. I have been on Evolve. I've done a lot of shit in my life, and I'm just now honestly getting back into it and doing more things. I've been in this business 10 plus years. Okay, do you understand me? I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anybody who says any different than what I say is doing exactly what I'm doing, is sharing an opinion. I'm not telling you fact or fiction, folks. I'm just giving it to you how I feel. And other people are free to do the same. So when I say, because I heard this the other day, I didn't like the Boneyard match. I said it, and someone else replied, well, I have a few friends in the industry, and they loved it. Who gives a fuck? They're also letting their opinions be known. They enjoyed it. Congrats. I don't respect you any less or more, to be honest with you, because you liked it. Same thing goes for me. The people you've spoken to liked it. Congratulations. I fucking didn't. And I'm going to go into detail as to why. So please, 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 just bear with me for a fucking moment and understand. Let it comprehend. Let it sink into the cerebellum so that it's there for the remainder of the time in which I'm on this earth. Okay? Because I may not outlive you. So for as long as I'm on the earth, keep this shit in mind, okay? I'm not coming at you baseless. I'm 37 years old. I've watched every fucking piece of wrestling since I was born. From 83 all the way to fucking today. And in that time, I've even seen stuff before me. How many of you fuckers have genuinely sat through 2 or 3 hour, 2 out of 3 falls matches with Hackenschmidt and all those? Not very many of you, I promise. I have seen everything there is to see. The WWE, WWF, TNA, Ring of Honor, ECW, WCW, Crockett Promotions, Florida Territory, the San Francisco area, Minneapolis area, the Texas UWF area, Canadian Stampede Wrestling up there. I've seen the UK shows. I've seen the Japanese shows, the All Pros, the New Japan Pro Wrestling shows. I've seen the FMW shows, Australia. I have seen pro wrestling from around the world for 30 plus, close to 40 fucking years. Do not fucking tell me that I'm wrong about fucking anything. Don't do it. You know, I actually said this wasn't going to be an angry as fuck episode, and I'm already 20 minutes deep, and it's pretty much an angry as fuck episode, so fuck it. Here it is. Okay? I'm now embracing this, because apparently my frustrations have been bottled up for so goddamn long. It's all coming out now here, so fuck it. Okay, there's a bunch of news that we have to get to here. And I'm going to skim through it because you know what? I'm so fucking fired up right now. I feel like just doing the Wrestlemania shit and getting off of this because there's just so much pent up fucking shit right now going on and surging fucking through me that I really don't want to spend too much time really doing anything else. Because there's about 37 goddamn matches that took place in front of fucking nobody that apparently I've got to get through. So the one thing I will talk about, or two things I do want to make mention, one of which is the Revival. Let's talk a little bit about the Revival. Scott Dawson, Dash Wilder of WWE fame, the tag team known as the Revival, they're gone. They have finally gotten their release. Apparently WWE has not gotten the hint over the course of the last 6 months. These fuckers do not want to be here, and they want to go somewhere else and do something else. So their contracts are up, and from what I understand, they don't... Actually, the contracts are not up. I think they're just straight up released, right? And because of their contract situation, there is no clause, no 90-day clause. They could literally show up in any program they want tomorrow. And I know everyone throws AEW out there. It's the same thing. Listen, guys, again, I just gave you my credentials, okay? I've seen this episode of television before, okay? I grew up in the Attitude Era. I saw the episode of WWE, WCW, ECW. Where is this guy gonna go? Where is that guy gonna go? Oh, he could wind up anywhere. Blah, 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 blah. I've seen all this before. So leaving a WWE contract on the table and going somewhere else doesn't impress me. I'm not, okay, that's great. I want to see what you do after because it's been known for a while, probably well over a year, that the Revival just didn't want to fucking be here. And they threw tag title after tag title on them, and they put them in these meaningless feuds. And what was it? Them in the Lucha House Party for about 3 months or whatever the case may be. They just didn't want to fucking be there. So I know they're a great tag team. I've seen them in action both live and on my television, obviously, for weeks. I know they're a great tag team. Very old school, very traditional, which is why I don't really lean toward AEW. I get it. It's big arenas. It's, you know, it is what it is. But I actually think they fit better in NWA Power. I definitely see them as a much more NWA Tag Team Champion look team. The only hook in that now is this whole COVID-19 situation. We don't know what NWA's position is going to be. We don't know if NWA Power is going to exist anytime soon, whereas AEW is currently still running shows weekly. They're still putting on programming. So I guess the smart money, and they probably have more money to offer, to be honest with you, but I guess the smart money would probably be that they are going to AEW. They may get the deal with New Japan, but here's the thing with that. I've heard fans say that all the time. when they put up these little fantasy things on social media, people say, well, if you were a wrestler, which is hilarious just to start, but if you were a wrestler, would you want to go to WWE and get paid more and have less creative freedom? Or would you want to go to AEW and get more creative freedom but like slightly less money? And people who always pick AEW always say the same stupid shit. They go, well, obviously I would want to do AEW because I could also do New Japan. No, you can't. That's not how that works. For those of you listening right now, you can't be in AEW and just quote-unquote do New Japan. Well, Jericho and Moxley, yeah, because they're Jericho and fucking Moxley. You're not. So therefore, you're not working both. A lot of great talent in AEW. None of them are fucking in New Japan. In order for you to work for New Japan has to fucking want you. There's no connection between the two. You don't get a contract with one and then it works for all these other fucking companies. That's not how that fucking works at all. Your contract is for AEW and AEW fucking only. That's it. If anybody else, what AEW was great about AEW, I should say, is that you have the option of working a few other shows. Instead of just waiting for AEW schedule to kick up, you can make some side money working on the shows for different companies. You have an option for that. But these other companies have to want you. There's no combination package. There's no contract for one and then access to all. That's not how wrestling works, guys. You get an AEW contract, that means you work for fucking AEW. That's it. Now, I don't believe that New Japan has no interest in the revival, but I wouldn't be surprised if they went to AEW and did not go to New Japan. I wouldn't be surprised. And if they did, it probably would be a short run. But you don't need a long run out of them in New Japan, to be honest with you. I think the revival would make great money. I mean, GOD, there's a couple of teams over there that you can get, 6-8 month run out of the revival. You can make a lot of goddamn money on them. And that's a big possibility. We could see them do some stuff in the UK. There's always an opportunity to head over to Mexico to do some things. They're going to have a much more open schedule and they're going to have a lot of opportunities to do a lot of things. But their contract would be for AEW, folks. If you don't see them anywhere else, it's because no one else wanted them. That's it. I'd be surprised if nobody wanted to get them at least right out of the gate. But if they go exclusive to AEW for, let's say a year, unless they absolutely kill it in that year, which I have my doubts, because AEW's tag division is whatever. It's up, it's down, we don't fucking know. It could be really great one day, and then you're just looking at it all weird the next. I mean, if because there's a lot of people with dream matches, obviously Revival and the Young Bucks come up. And if you're a true blue Young Buck fan, if you're waiting for that match, you're going to be disappointed. It's going to be a different match. These guys are veterans. They wrestle a particular style. The Lucha Bros, I know the Lucha Bros do some amazing shit, but if they're going to, listen, the Revival's going to go in there, which, by the way, they're not even in the Revival anymore, right? They've got new names, which I have here in front of me. The tag team will be known as the Top Guys. Dash Wilder is going to be Dex Harwood, Harwood, and Scott Dawson. No, I will reverse that. Scott Dawson is going to be Dax Harwood, and Dash Wilder is going to be Cash Wheeler. It's play off of their real names, apparently, and they're going to be called the Top Guys. That's going to be their tag team name. No Flips, Just Fists, by the way, belongs to them. Say Yeah belongs to them. And Shatter Machine belongs to them, copyright-wise. So does FTRKO, which, okay. I don't know why they would trademark that without Randy Orton, without the RKO guy, but whatevs. So I can't wait to see what they do. There's a lot of opportunity for them, I'm sure, and the iron is hot for them right now, but unfortunately, we're all on lockdown. COVID-19 right now has completely grabbed the world. We don't know when we're going to be doing much of fucking anything anytime soon. That's why I thought AEW was a fantastic choice for the moment, because it's the only one still running. Unfortunately, I think the bloom's going to be off that rose by the time we're all open again, and those opportunities could turn into other great opportunities. I think we may have a problem. I don't necessarily know if they're going to be able to keep that momentum, keep that heat going in empty arenas for the next, 8 to 12 months before they can go to Japan or do some different things. It's going to be a while. They're going to have to find a way to maintain this momentum. Elsewise, no one's going to want them. They're going to be too expensive and not really worth it at the gate. And that's the wrestling business, folks. When you're hot, you're hot. You got to strike when you're hot. Otherwise, Jesus, who knows what's going to happen there. So I wish them luck. I hope this whole thing works out for them. I really, really do. And another reason why I think AEW is a good choice, this is me segueing off into that next point I wanted to make. AEW is really doing this no people in the arena business way better than WWE is. I know that the people that they do have ringside really can't hear them that much, and they're not really much good for plants, but their bodies. It's giving the wrestlers someone to play off of during entrances and during the match. It's somewhat. I've felt somewhat normalcy through that than WWE's continued presence of just no one there. And it's funny because I got a few screen grabs from my phone. I'm going to post them up as soon as I get around to it. How about that? I was getting ready to say some other shit, but the truth is, I don't fucking feel like putting it up just yet. But when I do, there are people in the building. You can see them in different shots. There's some ringside shots when the wrestlers are out ringside and doing shit to the railing or whatever. There's people in the background. But none of them are ringside. They're all either far back watching or whatever the case may be. Guys, it would be much more fruitful if you were fucking at the fucking barricades at least. I said it at the beginning of this, lie to me. Please lie to me, because these empty arena matches are the shits. Shits. These are bad. These are bad fucking matches. And AEW so far has been doing it better, so I'm gonna give them their props and give them their goddamn due, because they've been doing it up. They've been doing it good. Couple of weeks now in a row. There's been some goofiness. I'm not a big Michael Nakasawa guy. I'm not. Whenever he's on my fucking TV screen, I've made the commitment now to just fast forward through that bullshit, because I just refuse at this point to fucking do it. I don't want to hurt my brain, so I'm just gonna move on from that. And they had him in a big match too with Best Friends and Kenny Omega the other day. And it's funny because getting towards the end of it, when it really started cooking over there, you could hear Tony Schiavone just yell out, "What the hell are we watching?" And I'm like, I feel you, Tony. I feel you. It's one of the beautiful things that I love about AEW, because we hear all this stuff about creative freedom and liberty and all this other stuff. Well, you know what? That extends out to the veterans, and more importantly, extends out to the commentary, because I hear these commentators roast these motherfuckers every chance they get, and it brings, I can listen to this commentary a whole lot better when these guys are taking these pot shots and all this other shit. And I love that part of it. I really do. Because sometimes the shit they have on that program is literally that. It's just shit. Not all of it. AEW Dynamite has gotten way better since the fucking debut. They've done a lot of great things. And it kind of sucks. They had some momentum going before this whole shutdown thing, so it kind of blows a little bit on that. And the New York show was supposed to be blood and guts. Now we may be leaning more towards another deletion thing over at the Hardy Compound. We'll see. We'll see how this goes, and we'll see where this is headed. And another real quick thing about the empty arena aspect, because we're about to do Wrestlemania. I'm going to talk about Wrestlemania a little bit. And there's a phrase you're going to hear a lot from me during the course of this review. And the phrase is, this match would have been better with fan participation. And I want to clarify that before I get into this description, because I'm not going to keep going back to it. So let me just say it once and we'll move on. Okay? If you're a real wrestling fan, do not tell me, and more importantly, don't say publicly, that the matches have been good to great without people there. Because then you'll give these people the impression that they don't need you. Because the matches are great without you. The ambiance is great without you. The venue is looking fantastic without you. This is like one of those situations that I said earlier, where it's like what I said, I don't need people. I don't need people. Everybody who's around me, I want around me. I don't need people. So I'm okay with you dispersing. You don't need to be around me. You don't want wrestling companies to get to that point where they're okay just dispersing you. You don't want these companies to feel like they don't need you, because then they will stop asking you to come. They will stop placating to you. You want the product to change. You want the product to be different. You want the storylines to be more creative. You want them to really throw open the book and just figure out how to find new and entertaining ways to pique your interest in 2020. But if they don't need you, why would they do that? If the cookie cutter shit is working in front of no audience, and that's what the WWE has been doing a lot of, the cookie cutter shit, then what's the point? What's the point? I really feel like fans are hurting themselves in all of this. Fans, I think, are really doing a disservice to themselves. Why would you continuously every day pat these guys in the back for doing performances without you in the building? I get it. We're in a tough time. You got to do what you got to do. We can't be there. So you're trying to show your support. You're trying to pat them on the back. Good job, guys, and give them the thumbs up, which is great for morale. But on a business level, you're proving the point of they don't need you. How many commercials have we seen? The most important part of the WWE is the WWE Universe. And yet, the WWE Universe turns around and tell them, you don't really need us. Don't worry about it. That show's great. They did a whole WrestleMania in front of fucking nobody. And people were online. Great WrestleMania. Fantastic. I was entertained. Really? So they don't need you. Shit, they don't need a ring, right? Because the most talked about matches on the card were the matches that didn't involve a fucking ring. They don't need a ring. It kills me. They don't need a ring. They don't really need to do any moves. You're not really watching the WWE for wrestling. You wanted to see a clean-up for with the Boneyard match. You wanted to see a Clint Eastwood movie. For the Firefly Funhouse match, you just wanted to watch a variation of the Rocky Horror Picture Show or something like that. You wanted to see one of those bargain bin movies at Walmart. You wanted to see some last minute scrolling shit you find on Hulu. You weren't looking for wrestling. Which fits into when people say, well, WrestleMania sucked. They didn't have a whole lot of matches. And then this one had this one had no audience and some high-profile situations with no wrestling in it, and it was beloved. I don't understand you. And this is why the WWE does what it does and does what it wants, because we're not all on the same page outside of that bubble. We're just not. We all like different things, and it's very frustrating for, I'm sure, a company that's making that much money to settle on a decision on what to do when the people you're trying to cater to have no idea what they want. You know how people always say, well, women, whenever you ask your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, what do you want to eat? And they go, well, whatever you want to eat, blah. They never know what they want to eat, right? Imagine being a server at TGI Friday and there's a big party coming in of like 10 or 12 women who had no idea up until that arrangement was made where they wanted to eat. Because that means when they get there, they're still not going to know what they physically want to eat. So that's the table of like 12 women sitting there looking at menus, talking to each other, taking 45 minutes just to order their fucking food. That's what's happening here. That is exactly what is happening here. You don't know what you want. As a group, as a collective, and I'll throw myself in there because I'm not on the WWE payroll. I know what I want, but the guy next to me doesn't want the same thing that I want. We're all on different pages. And because we're all on different pages, we're getting shows like AEW, like WWE, Raw and SmackDown, like NXT, that are fucking schizophrenic. Because they're trying to cater to as many people as they can to keep the views up. So the show looks fucking fragmented. There's really funny shit here. There's really serious shit here. There's a really good athletic contest here, followed by a spot fest, followed by, two idiots in a Halloween pumpkin match or whatever the fuck they came up with. It's all over the fucking map. All over the fucking place. So that's what we ended up with. That's how WrestleMania looked. And that's how shows going forward will all look. Because with the crowd gone, it's even more fucking confusing. We don't know what works. They're debuting people. We don't know how over they are. That Bianca Belair debut on Monday would have been fucking awesome. I would have loved that fucking scene or heard the reaction of Bianca coming out and debuting on fucking Raw. That would have been crazy. Also, in the opposite direction, because the Forgotten Sons got called up on SmackDown. And I would have loved to have heard the Crickets, because they built these motherfuckers up like they were huge. And I would have loved to have heard the Crickets when they came out, because nobody pops for them in NXT, and damn sure no ain't nobody going to pop for them on the main goddamn roster. And I love Corey Graves. After dominating NXT, here they are on SmackDown. Did they win matches on NXT? I don't recall them winning matches. Every time I saw the Forgotten Sons, they were losing. But hey, no audience, you can get away with it, right? Come out with a dope entrance, rah, look all big and burly. It's whatever. Before we get into WrestleMania, just real quick, there was a few people who were trying to listen to the TJ Marconi interview last week, which was amazing. I got great feedback from that fucking episode. More interviews are coming, I promise you. I've already reached out to so many interesting people that I cannot wait to talk to and hear their stories and hear their journeys. But there were some people who were having a problem with Podbean and its app. As I've said many times on this show, guys, Podbean is not the only way to listen to me. It's the link that I provide because it's the link that I use to share my stuff with. But I'm on a lot of different platforms, and I got something here that's going to let you know all about what I'm talking about here. Hey guys, AJ Orsini here, and I am the host of Pro Wrestling's #1 podcast, Orsini's Uncensored Mind. How do I know I'm #1? Just gonna have to take my word on that. I'm Honest Joe here. I would not lie to you, and I'm telling you, 25 countries around the world here don't lie. I've been heard on every platform you can think of. I'm on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher Radio, CastBox, Google Play Music, Listen Notes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. You can catch me on all social media platforms, and you can catch new episodes of Orsini's Uncensored Mind every Saturday, 9 p.m. That's right, folks, #1 in pro wrestling. You have to believe me, I am a voice on the internet. I actually have to update that because I'm not at 25 countries anymore. I'm at 35. I think I'm over 35. I think the actual number now is 37. I'm huge in Morocco right now. Which is funny to say out loud, but there it is. So I have the information in front of me. Believe me, guys, I know there's a lot of matches, and I've already been going for 40 minutes. This ain't going to take as long as you fucking think. Trust me. Okay, so I have it in front of me. Let's go ahead and pull that up. WrestleMania 36. This is usually the part where I hit you with attendance and venue. I won't need to do that today because fucking reasons, right? I'm going to include the pre-show on this because I'm going to be honest with you. I felt like the two pre-shows were actually really good. But let's start off with night one, which is another fucking thing that irritates me. The one night too big. The one show too big for one night. Fuck you. Fuck you. Okay, first of all, the first show that they had planned, the one at the stadium, did not need to be 2 goddamn nights. And before you say it, well, AJ, would you prefer 2 nights or would you prefer 8 hours of programming? How about neither, motherfucker? Not everybody needs to be on this goddamn show. And I know everyone's sitting here saying, well, I mean, if they're not on the show, they don't get the WrestleMania payday. I don't know what the fucking told you. It's not good business to have a fucking show this goddamn long. I said it the last 2 WrestleManias that I've done a show for. The last one was last year here where I'm at, and I'm telling you, I was there, and it was too goddamn long. Okay? I don't need 2 nights, and I don't need a fucking long-ass show. Give me 8 or 9 of your best fucking matches and move the fuck on. You can do the 2-hour pre-show and give me 3 pre-show matches if you want. Spread them out, 2 hours. That fits. Okay? Then your main card, 8 or 9 fucking matches, maybe 10. You know, definitely not fucking 16. That's not going to go over fucking well. Okay? So I'm just staying consistent here, boys and girls. Staying consistent. Because I can't do this shit. 2 nights is fucking stupid. That belongs to New Japan. If they want to do fucking Wrestle Kingdom in 2 goddamn nights, that's great. Huzzah for them. Your WrestleMania. You ain't got to be like them. They're trying to be like you. Okay? So, do what you fucking do. And if a New Japan mark just heard me say that shit and said, we're not trying to be like WrestleMania, fuck off. Fuck off. Please. WrestleMania's been doing this shit for a long goddamn time. Okay? So the first pre-show goddamn match, Cesaro and Drew Gulak. Right off the gun. This is the first thing that I see inside the empty building with the WrestleMania logos and the platforms and all this stuff. First match out, and I like it. I actually dislike the fact that it was official time here, 4 minutes, 25 seconds. I would have loved to have seen more of it. I thought it was a good match. I thought they threw a lot of their old Evolve shit in there and Chikara shit or whatever the fuck. I know these guys have a long history on the indie circuit, so they've known each other for a while. They threw a lot of shit in there for 4 minutes. I get it. It's WrestleMania, Drew's first WrestleMania match. I understand. I actually did like it for what it was, but I wish it would have been a little longer because I would have loved to have seen Cesaro and Drew Gulak go out there and really wrestle. And because, to be honest with you folks, I know I've been low on the whole empty arena thing, but if you're going to do an empty arena match, that's the kind of wrestling that goes good with it. Technical wrestling. Give the announcers and the people at home something to digest. Stop doing the bullshit where you work the crowd. There's no fucking crowd. Just wrestle the fucking match. This is why you can tell the system and the formula dominates a lot of these performers. You can tell who's got the experience with this and those who didn't. And these two men had plenty of experience. They knew exactly what they needed to do. They did it great. So far, so good. If this is going to be the first taste of what I'm supposed to be seeing, I'm impressed. This is really going to go good. I got a good feeling in my gut. And then we get to the opening card of the main card, and it all went out the fucking window. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defeat the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. 15 minutes, 5 seconds. 15 minutes, too goddamn long. Too goddamn long. If you want to talk about formula, the WWE formula, Alexa Bliss is the face of that entire fucking formula. She's got it run down to the goddamn second. There is no one more suited or more tailored to that system than fucking Alexa Bliss. And it bleeds into the other matches. You put another wrestler in there with Nikki Cross against Asuka and Kairi Sane, and that's a completely different match. They have to have the Alexa Bliss match. It's the only way it's going to work for everybody involved. Opening up WrestleMania with a title change is cool, but, and here it is, take a shot every time you hear it, the reaction would have been better in front of a fucking audience. They love Nikki Cross to the max. Alexa's actually gotten more of a babyface rub because of it, but I think the Kabuki Warriors dropping the title at WrestleMania would have been a huge reaction, and it would have been a very quiet crowd for most of this. I think the reaction would have been crazy because I think they love the idea of seeing Nikki with a belt, and of course Nikki Cross. What a career! What an inspirational story! Winning a championship at WrestleMania, that would have been beautiful. In front of a fucking audience, that would have been good. Elias and King Corbin up for singles match here. I don't know why these two were paired together. Last minute decision, I guess, just to get them on the card. But these two guys, first of all, Elias should never be babyface. Never. There's nothing about him or this gimmick that says babyface at all. Both of these guys should be heels that elevate talent to the next level. They should be high to mid-card heels that edge out the crowd, that get that mid-card guy ready for the next level as a babyface. Get him those reps in as a babyface before he at least attempts to move up. These two should, I mean, if you're going to have like a battle of the mid-card heel, that would have been cool, but it wasn't promoted as that. It was promoted as a babyface Elias who got thrown. I love when my wife caught it. He flew off the platform. He didn't fly. Fly indicates elevation. He literally dangled and then fell to the ground. He fell from the platform. That's it. And Elias comes in as the babyface trying to get started off good. I thought we were going to see ourselves a fight because he hit him with the guitar right away. And I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be quick, right? Get a little revenge on him, and then we'll see. And that shit went on. What was the official time? 9 minutes. It felt like 90. I was done. I was like, all right, moving on. Surprise. This is numbered weird because it's counting the pre-show as one. So I'll go the third match of the main card. For the WWE Raw Women's Championship, Becky Lynch retains against Shayna Baszler. And 8 minutes, 30 seconds, right amount of time. I love this match. I do like it. Again, would have been better in front of an audience. Take a shot. But I think there was an audible here. I don't think Becky was supposed to win here. I think the idea, of dropping that title that she's had for a year in front of nobody, I think hesitated or made them hesitate. especially considering all the title changes they already had planned. They needed a strong retention somewhere. And then the next two matches had retentions, but not clean, strong, overwhelming wins. So they had to put that in somewhere, and Becky's the one. To be fair, Shayna does not need the belt right away. She just got called up, so that's fine. But I really do believe this was a crowning achievement set up for Shayna, so that Becky could either take some time off or do something that she's really, really good at, and that's chasing. I know she's spent an entire year being the champion and being the one chased, but I still believe there is far more money in Becky doing the chasing than being chased, and that would have been perfect here. But I do agree with the idea that, I agree with it obviously because I feel like that for all these matches, a title change like that would have meant more in front of an audience. There would have been more heat. It would have been a much more emotional situation for Becky Lynch. Main eventing and winning the championship last year only to lose in defeat in agony against the one person that you were almost certain that you could defeat. All the other ones, the Asuka match at the Royal Rumble, that would have been a beautiful story. The Asuka match at the Royal Rumble, the one woman I can't beat, or before that, when it was Charlotte, the one person she can't beat, and she overcame so much. Here was a top contender who she felt very confident she could defeat, and then to have her lose would have set her back to the drawing board. She would have went back to basics, do the whole Rocky Balboa thing, build up, get that big SummerSlam match out of this. That would have been perfect for Becky and Shayna. However, COVID-19 is once again changing the world, and so maybe that was the one call I feel would have been inaudible. I feel there was a few audibles here, as a matter of fact, and we'll get to that one next, as a matter of fact. I felt like that was inaudible. That may not have been the right decision, but we'll see where they go from here. And Becky Lynch retains. And the next matchup, singles match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. First of all, I was surprised they even put this bitch on the card. But considering Daniel Bryan was the challenger, that makes all the sense in the world, right? Daniel needed a high-profile matchup. Daniel goes from defending the WWE Championship last year to challenging for the Intercontinental Championship. I know Daniel doesn't give a shit about those things, but that's not a very good visual for the casuals. But we get here, and on paper, you say to yourself, Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. Sounds like a dope match on paper. This would be the second time that Sami and Daniel have wrestled each other at a WrestleMania. Of course, Sami 2 years ago was a part of that tag team match where Daniel returned. So it's not their first time competing against each other at WrestleMania, let alone their first time competing against each other, period, with a championship on the line. Daniel Bryan coming out with Drew Gulak. A lot of screen time for Drew Gulak here at WrestleMania. So maybe they are starting to get behind him just a little bit, which would be awesome. Sami Zayn, of course, comes out with the Artist Collective, which is a horrific name considering that we just had to swallow down the Nightmare Collective on the other program. I know they don't care about those things, but it's just bad timing. Collective had a stink on it that I just couldn't remove. And you look at these three guys, three very supremely talented and athletic guys, and one talker amongst them. That's going to spell trouble. Well, the one talker is the champion now. And they had a match. That's about it. They had a match. They did all the psychological bullshit. I don't know if Sammy's really hurt or if he's just feeding into the gimmick of being this weaselly, loudmouth heel that he's developed over time, which I love. Him winning the Intercontinental Championship is dope because it's Sammy, but bad, I think, for this character. I don't think this character should be a champion. I think this character is perfect when talking for a champion. He's athletic, and Sammy's a fantastic wrestler. He's more than capable, in my opinion, of being the Intercontinental Champion all on his own. But with this current gimmick, I don't think it makes much sense. I also think this was an audible. I think this was set up for Daniel to win the Intercontinental Championship. I think this was an opportunity for the storyline between Drew and Daniel to progress because Drew would have coached Daniel to a championship now. And that would have solidified their relationship a little bit and got them down the road toward eventually colliding again. Possibly another big-time SummerSlam match between the two over the Intercontinental Championship. With, I'm sure, Daniel doing the favors. to Drew and trying to elevate him as a competitor. That would have been dope. But I don't think they're through with the Sami Zayn experiment. I think things are going rather well for his character. So, again, not having an audience would have ruined that kind of, especially Daniel winning a championship. That would have been a huge reaction amongst a live audience, especially in Tampa. I think they'll save that. Maybe Sami is the one now who goes all the way to SummerSlam with the belt, and they do the title change, and maybe Daniel and Drew build towards something bigger for another show. Who knows? I'm not entirely sure. I do know that Daniel and Drew are on a collision course. That's for sure. But they got to let us take a ride first, so that's good. That is good. Triple threat ladder match for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship. So to be clear, it was 3 individuals competing for the tag titles. That's a first, I'm sure, for WrestleMania or for any WWE match, I would think, where one member of each team that were feuding, the Usos, the New Day, and the Miz and Morrison, would compete in the ladder match and would determine the new SmackDown Tag Team Championship. I was asked on multiple occasions, there's no way you hated that match. And that is a fact. I did not hate this match. These guys went out there and had an amazing ladder match. Again, take a shot. Would have been great in front of a live audience. But believe it or not, even without the live audience, they were able to do enough creatively to take you away from the fact that there wasn't a whole lot of noise. If I could explain that correctly. They were able to do enough inside the ring physically that you took the ride. You didn't necessarily need fan participation for the match to showcase itself as a top match, like some of these other matches that happened could have done. I think a lot of these matches could have been elevated with fan participation, but this one was definitely physically demanding enough where it distracted you. It was a lot easier to focus in on this match considering the brutality and the physicality of it. Just the wrestling matches, it's very hard, like the last match before it, Sami and Daniel. A lot of what these guys do is based off of how fans react to what they're doing in the ring. And when they didn't have that, it just comes off like a match. This did not need fan participation. It just would have made it better, in my opinion. I think if people would have been there going nuts, going crazy, and they did all these crazy spots, it would have, visually and auditorily, it would have been just a lot better. But as is, frozen in time, you take it for what it is. It's a really good match. Hooray to all those guys, Jimmy Uso, Kofi Kingston, and John Morrison. Just really quickly, I made a joke online. I stick by the joke. What was longer? Kofi Kingston or Linsanity, the Chinese kid who played for the New York Knicks and had that huge run for a while. Kofi Kingston just a year ago, wasn't he, the heir apparent, he's the new Yes Movement guy, he's most over, blah, 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 blah. I told you guys he was a mid-card guy at best, ladder matches, Royal Rumbles. This was his element. This was old school Kofi being creative. I love this Kofi. This is the Kofi that I respect and I love and enjoy watching. The main event, WWE Champion Kofi, was not fun to watch. It was forced. We knew that it was forced. This is just not who the guy is. Now, he's the first African-American WWE champion. I'm going to give him all the respect in the world. He earned it. He bust his ass. But he's not a real champion. And we knew that. And when this showcase here shows you exactly what he's good at, exactly what he's great at, I'd be stunned if he didn't agent and produce that entire fucking match, just move for move. But he is amazing, and especially considering it's 2020 and he's still able to do these kind of matches and not get severely injured from them, is absolutely amazing. He is a physical freak and a marvel. And speaking of which, John Morrison hasn't been in the WWE in a while, and this boy is trying to get over like Rover. He gave himself up for 1,000,001 things. This felt like 2007 again, man. 2006 watching these guys go at it. And to be honest with you, it was nice to see an Uso without the other Uso. It was nice to see just one Uso in there doing this thing and trying to keep up with these guys. And he didn't really try to keep up. That's a bad way to say it, because he, in all honesty, he's just as good as both of these guys, Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso for that matter. They're really athletic guys. They're really good. And they really made this match interesting enough to keep a track on without needing the audience. Now, Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. Let me say this before I get into this match. People were telling me over and over and over, guys, this is a good show. You have to watch it. Guys, it's a good show. And I refuse to fucking watch it. And so far, you've heard my thoughts on the matches that led up to this. So, this is the one match where I was like really interested in seeing in front of an audience. But I was like, I don't know. Following the ladder match, too, while we're at it, I'm like, I don't know what they're going to be able to do. You know, because I learned in the ladder match that I can get into this if they're doing enough to keep me focused on what they're doing and not allow me a moment to realize there's no one in the building. That's the best way I can describe it, right? So I got to this match and I said, oh boy, this is set up for failure, right? Because they just followed a triple threat ladder match. There's no way these guys, and they got Goldberg next, and this is, I actually thought for a second they were in a death spot. But then they had their match, and they wrestled, and they talked, and they wrestled, and they talked, and then they did the whole deal with the disqualification, and then Kevin shot the promo, and Seth did the whole Monday Night Messiah deal, and then the match is back on, but it's no DQ, and then Kevin jumps off of the WrestleMania sign, and here's your WrestleMania moment, and I'm going to say this now, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. If I have to pick one of the 16 matches, or 18 matches, 18 matches altogether, including pre-show, if I have to pick one of the 18 matches where I'm like, okay, that's my favorite match of the entire night, it was this one. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins was the best match of the night. It's not close. There aren't many best matches on this show. To me, this was one. This was the one. This was the match. These two guys, and I'll give them more credit than the other ones, than maybe the ladder match, because it was two guys with no toys. It was two guys. The toys came later, but the two guys were able to go in there, and with their bodies and with their mouths, they utilized the empty building. We could hear everything that these people are fucking saying. And instead of hiding it, they were very verbal. Very verbal. They were telling stories to each other. I told you this was going to happen. I told you. You didn't want to listen. Come on. And they would kick him, and they would do all these different things. Come on, Messiah. Come on, God. And you feel like you're in a fight. That's what it felt like. It felt like you were in a fight. All right? And not like the Boneyard match, which we're going to get to in a few seconds. Not like I did not feel that in the Boneyard match. I felt it here because it was filmed, recorded, and treated like a professional wrestling match. There's a referee there. There's a ring there. They're combating against each other. A game of one-upsmanship. Who's the more athletic of the two? Who's the stronger? Who's the tougher? Is one truly a god? Is the other one truly a failure? That's what we're dealing with here. That's the story. And they built and they built and they built. And then Seth does the ultimate sacrifice. He gives Kev the win. Disqualification. Share to the backbone. And he walks off and he's telling him, hey, you got your WrestleMania moment, Kev. It was almost like he was gifting it to him. He was handing it to him. Here it is. You kept getting on my back because you think I'm trying to ruin careers. I'm not trying to ruin careers. I'm here to build careers. Here, Kev, here's a career for you. Here's a WrestleMania moment for you. You just beat God, essentially, on WrestleMania. And, of course, true babyface fashion, Kevin Owens doesn't want to get a win that way, and we're going to fight. And if we're going to fight, no DQ, no excuses. Let's go all the way. And, of course, the big WrestleMania moment. He jumps off the sign, breaks through the table. He pins the man eventually and wins the big match. It's the only match on this card or the Night 2 card where literally anything took me out of the idea that there were no people in that building. I actually forgot during the course of that match that people were in the building watching, clamping, stomping. I actually felt it. I felt the match from beginning to end. I know Kevin Owens is an amazing storyteller, so is Seth Rollins. They proved it. If Kevin Owens is not in the title picture by the end of this year because of it, it's wasted and it's a goddamn shame. Because both of these guys proved they're top guys in the WWE. To me, they both proved that is just, they're the tops. They went 17 minutes and 20 seconds. Only a minute shy of the ladder match, and I felt what they did more than the ladder match. Not to say that I didn't feel the ladder match, but they were only separated by a minute, and they did it with less. By the way, 15 minutes went to the first match. Keep that one in mind. Because everything after that was 9, 8, 9, and then we got 18 for the ladder, and then 17 for this. So the ladies got plenty of time. Following Owens and Rollins, we have the WWE Universal Championship match. 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Braun Strowman defeating Goldberg for the WWE Universal Championship. We all know why this happened. We all know what's going on with this. There's no secrets. Roman Reigns is a 2-time cancer survivor. He's not leaving his fucking house with COVID-19 on the prowl. That's just not going to happen that way. Okay? I don't know if there's heat for that. I would doubt it. But this was Roman Reigns' moment to come out here and defeat the old man for the WWE Universal Championship. He couldn't do it, and obviously Goldberg can't hold on to the belt for fucking forever. So on to Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman has backed his way into becoming the WWE Universal Champion. Now, I say back because this was not the plan. Unfortunately for Braun, there's never been a fucking plan. He's always the bridesmaid, never the bride, and the only reason why he was the bride tonight is because the original fucking bride died of a fucking heart attack, and, well, he had to marry somebody, right? The groom is on his deathbed, too. I'm not going to be here forever. Someone's got to take this fucking ring. So he took the corpse out of the bride's dress and put it on over his fucking shoulder and neck because he's too big for a bride dress. And he fucked up there and put his hands in Goldberg's hands and said, "I do." And took the fucking ring and took the fucking belt and kicked old man Goldberg to the fucking side. 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Braun Strowman couldn't beat Brock Lesnar at all. Period. But the guy who beat Brock Lesnar in 2 minutes got beat in 2 minutes by Braun Strowman. So there it is. Figure that shit out for yourself. I ain't got time for it. Main event of night one goes to the Boneyard match. The Undertaker. A lot of confusion whether it was American Badass or Big Evil. I'm going to go ahead and just probably kill all those things right now and just say this is something new. We're probably going to hear more about this once the fans start coming back into the building. But Taker looked good, looked strong. Love the outfit, love the new theme that he had going there. I know people were trying to pipe in rolling. There's a reason why we can't do rolling. Be smart. They're not playing that one or American Badass. Yeah, we're not playing Kid Rock shit. I would love to hear Big Evil's theme back, but if they've got something new and they're going to take it into another direction, fuck it. Because to be honest, at this point, he should have retired years ago. He knows it. We know it. They did a whole special on it. And if he's going to keep doing it, you might as well attempt to freshen it up. Remember, it wasn't that long ago, we were all giving Taker a lot of credit throughout the course of his career, how quickly he was to evolve and change and never get stale until eventually he got stale. He's stale. So for him to do this right now, might have bought himself another year or two. Looked good. AJ obviously is the fucking man. He's AJ. He can make anything fucking look great. And that's what happened here. So people will probably listen to this going, well, AJ, what the fuck? You're praising these two guys, and yet you said the match was no good. The match itself, or the actual physicality, because again, it wasn't a match. The actual physicality of what took place, I loved. I even loved the jaw-jacking back and forth. Apparently, they were told they had permission to fully improvise a lot of the stuff that they were saying, which was good. It felt real. Imagine that. No script, and it felt real. How about that? So they're fighting it off. What I don't like, and it's twofold here, so follow me on the bouncing ball. I don't like the cinematography of it. Now, I know a lot of people were like, well, Matt Hardy, the deletion. I don't like the deletions either, folks. Go back and listen to my podcast, and you will see I'm not a fan of the deletions either. Okay? There were some things about those deletions that I liked because they were funny, and then there were some that I didn't. I never took broken Matt Hardy that seriously. To me, he's hee-hees and ha-has. He's giggles. Okay? He's comedy. No one takes Matt Hardy and the broken shit seriously because it's not serious. It's hee-hee, it's ha-ha. He's doing it now. The whole of the ass. Yeah, it's ha-ha funny. I get it. Taker and AJ Styles are not ha-ha funny. So if you're going to grade this on a deletion level, then it fails because it's not hee-hee and it's not ha-ha. Although, I did have a hee-hee ha-ha moment when those druids kicked the doors down or whatever and they had those lights. And my favorite was Taker's on the upper hand and you see the OC just show up out of nowhere. Hey, dead man. And they turn around. Bow, bow. This was bad. All of this looked like a deleted scene from Walker, Texas Ranger. Here's why. Here's why. If you're going to divulge into the cinematography aspect of wrestling, right? If you're going to divulge into this, and this is still the first part, I haven't gotten to the second part yet. If you're going to turn yourself more into a TV show, that I have to grade you as such. I can't say, well, it's wrestling, but they're trying to TV. No, you're either a wrestling show or a TV show. And by TV show, I mean like sitcom-y, script, multiple cuts, editing, not one tracking inside of a wrestling ring and just airing whatever happens. That's not what I'm talking about. If you're going to put yourself on B-movie rated level, I'm going to grade you as such. If that match, because people are comparing it also to a Buried Alive match. Well, especially a Buried Alive match. Okay, but that happened in the building with the participation. Utilize the ring. There's a referee following around. I mean, NXT did the final beat or whatever, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. They did cinematography. They were all over the place. But it felt like wrestling. It was they wrestled in a ring, they wrestled outside, and where you can see other wrestling things, trucks. You know, they had a wrestling match that was filmed like a goddamn movie. It felt fucking awesome. I actually liked Final Beat more than I liked any of the shit they did on WrestleMania, with the exception of Owens and Rollins and maybe the ladder match. And when I'll talk about Final Beat another time, I don't have time today to be talking about NXT, but yeah. So that's the second part about the Boneyard match that I didn't like, is I don't like the idea that everyone's just on board about the fact of how great it was, because I don't need independent companies doing this as a fucking living. I don't want independent wrestling companies calling themselves wrestling companies and they're doing fucking home videos. You know, oh, dude, I got some fucking sick footage on my phone. I don't want to hear stupid shit like that. If you're a wrestling company, have some fucking wrestling matches. We're not going to be doing this stupid bullshit. If you want to film some vignettes, if you want to film some promo packages for the shows, have a screen up, play some things to lead up to the wrestling match, to help hype, to help build, of course, there's nothing wrong with cinematography. But it can't be your whole match, and it can't be your whole match every fucking time. Can't call yourself a wrestling company you don't even own a ring. You're just putting videos together and you're just doing goofy shit. That's not what that is, and I was just hoping that that's not where this shit was headed. Because a lot of people walked away from that like, oh man, this is wrestling evolving. This is it becoming something new. No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't convince yourself of that shit, because it's just going to lead to disappointment on your fucking end, man. I'm fucking telling you, it's just going to fucking disappoint you. I promise you. So, that was night one. Main event. I settled on that, right? I love the two guys. I love what they tried to do. But it looks like a B-rated movie. It looks like a deleted scene from Walker, Texas Ranger. Is all that it was. That's all that it was. And people, before you get down and you say, well, what would you have rather them done? Lock up and wrestle in the ring? Yes! That was the reason why I was so excited for the matchup, because finally Taker was going to be in there with a guy who could bump around and make him look 15 fucking years younger. For years, they'd been poorly booking him. Why do you think he looks so bad? The Roman match was bad. The Lesnar match was bad. The Bray Wyatt match was bad. Because he was in there with guys who couldn't fucking move. And it sucks because he can't fucking move. And I'm like, well, you know what? Lesnar can move. He just doesn't, because he doesn't need to. But look at Lesnar's best matches so far. Styles, Balor, Bryan, right? Guys who can move. So yeah, I was looking for Styles to get in there and make Taker look like he turned the clock back. I was ready for it. And if you were going to give me Biker Taker and still include a grave and all that other goofy shit, I would have liked it more. Yeah, actually. So night two, we're going to breeze through this because ain't a whole lot of shit happening on night two. All the good shit happened on night one. So, pre-show here, Liv Morgan defeated Natalya. This was actually a really good match. Underrated. I think in front of a lot of audience, take a shot. This would have been a lot better. Especially at WrestleMania, big stadium, would have been a big moment for Liv Morgan. That would have been huge. We opened up with the singles match for Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. I said it on the show. I said it in my house. That was my WrestleMania main event. That was, to me, the best match on the card. That was the match I was looking forward to the most. And much like Rollins and Owens, they had a good enough match to take me out of it. I completely forgot people weren't watching that match in the ring. Or in the building. I loved Charlotte and Rhea. I thought it was a great match. I could watch that match all goddamn day. I was worried about chemistry because they haven't really, on screen, they haven't done too much. I don't know if they've rehearsed anything behind the scenes, but on screen, I know they haven't really met too much. But the chemistry was there. Everything was there. It was beautiful. I think this was another audible situation. I just can't believe that Rhea was not up on that match. I thought that was a great opportunity. You know, we're going to talk about the Firefly Funhouse and what Cena did to Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 30. I feel like we're repeating that here with Charlotte and Rhea. This might not have been the best decision. I can see Charlotte doing some amazing things for the NXT division. But they were great before Charlotte got there. They don't need a Charlotte filler in the NXT women's division. So they need a Rhea Ripley on the main roster. That's what they need. I don't think Rhea loses any steam in this. I think she was over solid with the audience. So I don't think this is going to be that big of a deal, but it was a dope match, and I can't wait till we get a rematch in front of some people because that's going to be fucking great. As a matter of fact, if you're going to open with this at WrestleMania, when we get an audience back, I want this to be the first match. Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley for the NXT title in a rematch. That's going to set your show off great. Next match up here, Aleister Black defeated Bobby Lashley. Who knows why this match happened? Who cares that this match happened? No build-up, no interest, moving on. Both great athletes, respected the effort. Again, take a shot. That match would have been a little better in front of an audience for them to feed off of and get into Aleister Black's entrance and everything like that. That would have been dope. And then that's that. We're moving on because that's just a waste of everybody's time. Same thing here. Otis and Ziggler. I felt so bad for Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler's been wrestling at WrestleMania for over 10 years. He's never had a singles match on the main roster, on the main card for WrestleMania. He's never had a singles match. Money in the Banks, tag matches, he's multi-man matches of some kind, battle royals. He's never had a one-on-one match. And his first one-on-one match at WrestleMania is fucking Otis. And Otis wins. Because the good guy has to win at WrestleMania to get the girl. As soon as my wife was sitting next to me and we both laughed because they're like, it's 2020 and their main storyline was, the guy wins the girl. Like she's a trophy. Like Mandy Rose is the prize. Otis won the girl. Meanwhile, Mandy could just say tomorrow, fuck it, and go somewhere else. What a fucking winner. He won the girl. I'm actually more attracted to Sonya than I am Mandy. How about that? And I got like an anti-blonde thing. I'm not fully against blondes, but I'm more attracted to brunettes than blondes. I'm not a big fan of blonde. Anywho, another conversation for another day. Last man standing, Edge and Randy Orton. I felt so bad for Dolph Ziggler, and I felt even worse for Edge. 9-year wait. You're finally back in a WWE ring to perform in a WrestleMania, and no one is there. I said it online on Facebook. I'll say it here. That's why I'm going to keep this one short as well, because I've been talking about it for a week now. This match went 36 minutes, 35 seconds. You take 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes off of that, and it's a classic WrestleMania match. Last man standing. First of all, started off great. Lots of energy. RKO right off the bat. Just lots of stuff. This was a great opening. They really gave you the impression of last man standing. Fought for a good amount of time in the beginning, building up to a back and forth. And the ending was great. Top of that truck, which was properly gimmicked up for these guys to go in there and do what they had to do. Proper ending, proper result, everything. You have to cut out 10 or 15 minutes of that bullshit in the middle. That fucker dragged. That's why everybody was like, oh, it's so long and boring. It wasn't really a boring match. It's just you can't remember the good because you've been sitting through so much of the bad. It was too long. It was too long. 36 minutes is too long for a guy who just came back from a 9-year absence. I get it. They were trying to tell a story. That these two guys are just going to beat the shit out of each other for forever. I understand. You take 10 or 15 minutes off that match, which would be what? If you took 15 minutes off that match, it's about 20... It's about a 20-minute match. 20, 21 minutes. That would have been magnifique. if you do 20 to 25 minutes, I'll give them that. 20 to 25 minutes, that match would have been classic. Even with no audience, you could have put that last man standing match against any last man standing match that they've ever had in WWE, including WrestleMania, because that Macho Man Crush one at 10 was the shits. Great build-up, horrible match. But this would have been a fantastic match. But you can't take 10 or 15 minutes out. You have to grade it based on the 10 or 15 minutes being in, and that lowers the grade tremendously. Ruins the average there, because it just went on and on and on and on and on. But it was the right start. It was the right ending. We just got to trim that fat in the middle, and we should be good. The WWE Raw Tag Team Championship on the line. The Street Profits against Angel Garza and Austin Theory. 6 minutes, 20 seconds. Not enough time. This match was no good. This is the first time that all of them have gotten together. Again, paint by numbers bullshit. I can't get into it. If you take these same 4 guys, and Austin Theory is the one that made me think of this. You take these same 4 guys, you put them in an Evolve ring and let them go for 10 minutes. And you're going to get yourself a classic tag team match. But they're on the WrestleMania card competing for WWE Tag Team Championships, so formula. And formula means it was a fart. No good. Absolutely not. And I'm not putting it on these 4 guys. With Zelina Vega on the outside, the Bianca Belair thing at the end, which is dope. They needed more time, and they needed the cuffs off. Montez Ford is a freak athlete. Angelo Dawkins is not so much. Between the two, Montez is clearly the more adept at this than the other, but Angelo is no slouch. He's a big man who can move and do some things. Obviously, Angel and Austin are fantastic athletes. Bianca is a fantastic athlete, but I'm not big on her talking. I know, girl, like I get into that. That's cool, but like the more she talks, like I don't know, she takes me out of it. Zelina obviously is a fantastic talker, so the two of them working together seems to me like a back and forth deal. It's pretty cool. Monday Night Raw, Zelina was in the gear, and they worked some stuff out. So this is a potential right here. I like the team of Angel and Austin too, by the way. And I know when Andrade comes back, they're going to be a stable or whatever. But you know, this could have been great, but it wasn't. Not even close. And speaking of could have been great, not even close. Fatal 5-way elimination match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. A lot of possibilities here. The only thing that throws me, to be honest with you, is Tamina. I don't know why Tamina's in this match. I don't know why Tamina is at every WrestleMania. We never see her on Raw. We never see her on SmackDown. We never see her on the loops. She just exists on this roster. But for whatever it is, when it comes to WrestleMania, this chick is on it. That would have been the perfect opportunity to bring Nia Jax back instead of the night after. But they didn't. There would have been a great opportunity to sneak in a Dana Brooke, who has improved immensely. Even if she's going to be the first one eliminated, she's on the main stage. She, a reward for improving herself. They got her and Charlotte on the thing the next night, or the next Friday, I should say. But this was an opportunity to really get someone in there who could have made this a lot more interesting. I'm kind of over the whole she's Samoan, so her head is super strong deal, and she's buff and whatever the fuck. I'm good. They didn't go with the turn with Sasha and Bayley, which I'm fine with. If they felt like, again, like Becky's situation earlier, that would have been more effective in front of an audience. So it's possibly another audible here with the title situation. I'm not entirely sure that Bayley was supposed to walk out of here with that belt. If she was going to drop it, I still don't think it's Lacey's time just yet. I think it would have been Sasha, just to kind of put a wedge further between the two of them. But I think regardless of who has the championship belt, at some point Lacey's going to get it. She has turned into a fantastic babyface. I'm extremely excited to where she goes from here. I didn't like her as a babyface at first. I just thought she was a natural Southern heel, but she's turned it around. She's doing pretty good. That's the only thing that throws me off about this match is Tamina. 19 minutes and Bayley walks away with retaining here. And I was a little mad when she won it, but then I saw her on Friday, and I saw her in them jeans, boy, and I feel so much better. Because an ass like that should have a championship belt around it. I'm just going to be honest with you. That is a championship ass. It ain't too big. It ain't too small. Got a cuff. Could bounce a quarter off that motherfucker. That is a butt, my friend. If you are a man, appreciate. If you are a woman, appreciate. All facets of human life should appreciate hot ass. That is fantastic. Speaking of ass, the Firefly Funhouse match is next. Here's the thing. And I already prefaced everything I was going to say earlier, blah, 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 blah. I get it. The whole deal with The Fiend and the whole getting revenge for turning on Bray, or not turning on Bray, but just, not taking the opportunity to swing that chair. And he had the whole world in his hand. They told a story. And that's what everyone leans on. What great storytelling. All of John Cena's faults and all of his insecurities being thrown on the table, and Bray coming out in the old gimmick and the rocking chair and the whole deal. All that stuff they did. I get it. Because again, it's different. It's one of the things about The Fiend that I do love so much, because it's different. Right? That's the whole appeal about the whole Firefly Funhouse Fiend deal, where it's people have been so starved for something new and something different for so long that they're willing to eat just about anything to not be fucking hungry anymore. And I promise you, folks, that's exactly what this is. That's exactly what the scenario is. Let's be honest. Be honest with yourself. If you're listening to this, I'm genuinely asking you to be honest with yourself. Okay? If this had happened in any other era, or if it did happen today, but it happened in any other company, how much would you really have enjoyed it? Honestly. Because I feel like the only reason why everyone really loved it is because it was so goddamn different. That's it. It was different. I've never seen something like this before. Therefore, it must be good. Now, I can agree with the fact that it is different. And I can agree with the fact that the two performers who are performing this match, and I use that word very loosely and in quotations, they're really committed to it. That's why Bray is able to get away with so much of the shit he does with the Firefly Funhouse. It's also the same way that John Cena can get away with doing the shit that he does, because these are two guys who are 100% committed in every aspect of what they do. They jump right in. So it's easy to pull you guys in because they really believe it. They really believe in their brains that this is an actual match taking place. That Bray really believed he was in control of John Cena's mind and making him see all these different things about himself. Look what could have happened. Look what you did. Look what you didn't do. Going back and forth until eventually the Fiend comes out and puts an end to the whole goddamn thing. And that's the thing about this match, believe it or not, folks, that I don't like. Because there were actually people coming off thinking, well, was this an actual match? Did he just do this to him in John's own mind? Like, it's not really a thing. Like, it didn't really happen. It was a figment of John Cena's imagination, or even a figment of Bray Wyatt's imagination. Did John Cena actually come out and challenge or accept Bray Wyatt's challenge? Was that something that all of us imagined? Is it not real? Is Bray Wyatt some sort of time lord where he can just do these things magically? And that's the part about this that I don't like, because it's not definitive. It's very subjective, and it's up for interpretation. A lot of people spent a lot of their time arguing over what these things even were. Or by things, I mean the segments themselves. They were like, well, this means this, and this means that. And that, to me, that's the part I don't really like, because to me I associate that with movies and film and television show and writings and books, that a lot of it is open to interpretation, that a lot of it is subjective to you. How do you feel about that? Where do you think this was going? I don't like that about my wrestling. I want my wrestling to be definitive. That's why I always akin it to sports. In sports, it's definitive. How do you feel about the Bulls winning? It's irrelevant. They scored more points than the Knicks did, so they won. It's definitive. That's what sports is. Draws are not a happy time for people, for Christ's sake. They don't like draws. That's not how sports usually tends to work. It's not a figment of my fucking imagination. I just saw the fucking Pittsburgh Penguins win the Stanley goddamn Cup. That's why I don't associate the two. WWE does. They say, well, this is entertainment. So they gave you entertainment. But I don't watch the WWE for entertainment. Not all the time. I like the mixture. That's why I watch wrestling in the first place. I like the mixture. I think, personally, if I look into myself and be honest with myself, I might have been more into it if I hadn't seen the Boneyard match like the night before. Actually, I didn't watch it the night before. Actually, I didn't see night one live. Maybe this is, okay, I'm being honest with myself, right? I'm speaking out loud here. So I'm being honest with myself. I didn't see night one live. I saw night one before night two. I saw it all in the same day because night one I just refused to watch it. And then by night two I realized I was going to have to talk about it, so I might as well watch it. So I watched the first one, and then there was like an hour left, and then I got into the second one. So truth be told, I had just seen the Boneyard match not even 2 hours before that one fucking aired, or 3 hours at least. And maybe that's what took out of it. Because of the two, I like the Boneyard match more than I like the Firefly Funhouse match. It just felt more like a fight than this one did. But to have two, maybe that's what canceled it out for me. Because I just couldn't do another fucking video segment after watching the first. Because even though I was kind of into the Boneyard match, I really didn't like it. This one I didn't like at all, top to bottom. I don't need to take a psychological thrill ride through this motherfucker. I don't need to see a poor man's version of being John Malkovich happening in front of me on fucking WrestleMania. Get the fucking fighting. That's what I want to see at WrestleMania. Get the fucking fighting. And I know, and people yell at me all the time. I heard it on social media. Well, AJ, WWE isn't wrestling anymore. Remember, they're entertainment. That's what you tell us all the time. That if we're coming to WWE for wrestling, that we're wasting our time because they're an entertainment company. Right. But here's the point you're missing. They're not solely a wrestling company. WrestleMania is the one night where it's all about the wrestling. That's what makes WrestleMania so fucking great. Because for Backlash, we did stupid shit. For Extreme Rules, we did stupid shit. For Survivor Series, we did stupid shit. We do stupid shit all the time. WrestleMania is supposed to be the night we get it right. And it wasn't. And I get it. There were circumstances. But those circumstances determined that things didn't get done right. I can't blame the WWE for doing what they did, but you can't blame me for not liking what they did. I didn't like it. I sat through the whole Firefly Funhouse match, and I had my finger on the fast forward button the entire time. I was tempted so bad to just fucking fast forward it, to just push it through. But I stuck through it because I wanted to see it just so I knew what I was talking about. And when I watched it and it was over, I said out loud, I'm never watching that shit again. If there's ever another fucking Firefly Funhouse match advertised ever, at least I know that I can fast forward it with no fucking problems at all whatsoever. I just move on. And now we have our main event of the evening for the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre defeating Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship in front of absolutely nobody. What a wasted opportunity. A wasted moment. The crowd goes mild. There's no one in the building for this big... They did nothing that drew anything away from the audience. They kept the match simple, basic, to no entertainment value at all whatsoever. They did nothing spectacular. They did nothing great. I will make a strong argument that Big Show had a better match out of Drew McIntyre the night after on Raw, which they taped after Mania, which is hilarious when you think about it. They filmed it, right? They recorded it. He beat Brock. They moved him to the back, and then he came out as WWE champion and defended against Big Show for zero reason. They had a better chemistry match than fucking him and Lesnar did. This was not a WrestleMania main event. It should not have been a WrestleMania main event. I know that the moment is why they left it last, but with no people, there was no moment. So, final shot of the night, folks. This would have been better with people. both heavyweight championship matches, the WWE Championship and the WWE Universal Championship, you can make an argument were the worst 2 of the 18 fucking matches. I can make a strong argument that Liv Morgan versus Natalya was a better match than either of these 2 championship matches. Either of them. I can make an argument that the tag match for the women's tag team titles was at least better than Goldberg-Strowman. At least that. So here we are, folks. That's WrestleMania 36. It hurts my heart to even go through it. But if you're really listening to what I'm saying, guys, I had a lot of positive moments in there. There was some things that I enjoyed. I did get a kick out of some of the stuff on this show. My 2 favorite matches, Rollins and Owens wins night 1. Charlotte and Rhea win night 2. After Charlotte and Rhea, that entire show took a fucking nosedive. Nosedive. Night 1 was the better night. So if they're competing against each other to figure out who had the better whatever, night 1 is the winner on the overall scale there on entertainment value. You know, night 2, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, Edge and Orton did an amazing thing there, and then that is pretty much it. Even Edge and Orton did an amazing thing, but they did too much of it. Yeah, too much of a bad thing. You know, a little cocaine will treat you right. Too much cocaine will fucking kill you. That was too much cocaine. I need less cocaine in my system to enjoy the ride, okay? Less. Otherwise, Vicky will leave me to die as well on my couch. So, but y'all not ready to have that conversation yet. So, next week, I have a lot of interviews lined up. So next week might be an interview. If not, I've got some things to talk about. Dark Side of the Ring has put out some new shit. We're going to hit that up at some point. I may even talk to some of the guests about that, to be honest with you. I haven't been watching Raws and SmackDowns. I just haven't. I skimmed through a few stuff today, but for the most part, I can't watch these shows without people in it. I can't. AEW is a little bit more tolerable because they're lying to me. They're putting some people in there. So there's that. So we'll figure that out. So episode 135 is in the books, folks. Got less angry as the fucking thing went on, but there's that. So anywho, hopefully I feel better next week. This quarantine shit's gotten me all wrapped up here, but I'm going to have some interviews up. We're going to do some crazy shit. It's going to be fun. Also, side note, I was supposed to be re-debuting with PWA, Pro Wrestling Academy, on April 17th, Fort Valley, Georgia. That's not going to happen, obviously, because of COVID-17. Not a whole lot of wrestling going on. Did I just say 17? COVID-19. There you go. COVID-19. Not a whole lot of wrestling going on. So they've decided they're going to They're going to put together a nice little show on April 17th on their Facebook Live. So that's going to happen there. And it's going to be a watch party. And you guys are more than welcome to enjoy. And you're going to hear my silky smooth voice on the commentating of those matches. I am back in the booth for PWA as the voice, and I hope you guys enjoy. I actually have to put some of that stuff together. Not the final product. Final product. I mean, stuff together for PWA that's we're going to be setting up and rolling out after April 17th. I still have some more work to do on the wrestling aspect. So for anybody who was wondering, hey, what are wrestlers doing during this time off? I hope it's more wrestling shit, because I'm still busy. I know the shows haven't run in a while, but I'm still doing shit for wrestling promotions. So we're still doing that. So we're still doing distance learning. I'm busier in the quarantine than I am when I'm not quarantined. It's so weird. My hours are all over the place. So anyway, yeah, so thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for sharing. And of course, everyone out there, thank you for enjoying, if you even did. I don't even know. Let me know. Hit me up. Message, email, comment, whatever. Legitimately let me know if you enjoyed this episode, because, I don't know, I came off kind of weird today. Anywho, deuces.
100 episodes, now pay him.
And make sure that you buy my husband's t-shirt at prowrestlingtees.com/AJOUM. Please, he needs this.
Listen to my daddy show. He's the best, so I don't know.